When I first crossed paths with Sarah, she struck me as magnetic, confident, graceful, and certain of the future she wanted. Back then, I believed I was a part of that future. We built what I thought was a solid life together. I poured into it my devotion, my effort, and every ounce of my love. But as time passed, her affection shifted into something colder. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was her leverage. The day she announced she wanted a divorce, it was as if the ground disappeared beneath me. Her words were sharp, delivered without a trace of remorse. She didn't soften the blow. Instead, she smirked as she told me, "You'll walk away with nothing." It wasn't just a divorce that stunned me. It was the cruelty in her eyes. Sarah had been plotting this for months, maybe years. She funneled money into secret accounts, twisted documents, and crafted a plan designed to strip me bare. She thought she'd played it perfectly, that she'd cornered me. But what she didn't know was that I had been paying attention. Long before her confession, I had begun to notice cracks in her carefully painted facade, and I wasn't about to let myself be her victim. I found the sharpest lawyer I could, someone who thrived on details, and I handed him everything I had: receipts, bank records, messages, proof of the affairs she thought she'd buried. Every breadcrumb she left behind, I collected. The more we dug, the clearer it became. Sarah's empire was built on lies, and it was already starting to collapse. When the court dates arrived, she entered like royalty, heels clicking, dressed head to toe in designer fashion. Convinced the judge would hand her the keys to everything I owned. She smiled across the room as if the case was already hers. But her confidence didn't last long. Piece by piece, my lawyer laid the truth bare. Transfers she'd hidden, assets she'd sworn didn't exist, lies she'd rehearsed, all of it unraveled under the weight of evidence. Her expression shifted, arrogance fading into panic. The courtroom that she thought she controlled turned against her. The judge didn't take kindly to her deception. Instead of leaving me broken, she watched her own plans burn. The house she promised I'd never keep was signed over to me. The accounts she tried to conceal were divided fairly. Her betrayal gave me the edge, and suddenly everything she had fought to take slipped from her grip. I saw the fury in her eyes as she sat there, jaw tight, fingers clenched against the table, powerless to stop the outcome. When the divorce was finalized, she tried to reach me, calls, messages, rants, but I gave her nothing. My silence was louder than any revenge I could have spoken. I stayed in the home she once ruled, stripped of her touch, and made it my own. I sold the car she loved so much and used the money to rebuild my life. In the end, she had promised I would walk away empty-handed. But I left with everything that mattered: my freedom, my peace, and the satisfaction of knowing she could no longer control me. Her arrogance blinded her, and in plotting my downfall, she orchestrated her own. What she taught me, without ever meaning to, is that no one can convince you you're powerless. Not unless you let them. She said I'd have nothing. Instead, I walked away with everything she could never touch: my dignity, my strength, and a life she would never be a part of again. Do you want to make this version more ruthless and vengeful, or keep it in this cold, triumphant tone?